YouTube was happening. This is a post-production patchy, and I'm putting this at the beginning of the video so you can keep this in mind as you watch it. Now, patent leather is a type of coated leather that has a high gloss finish, right? Now, that was the reason that I thought I could just take off the finish of the leather. Patent leather is sometimes confused with artificial leathers such as DuPont's Corfarm and Coray's Clarino, which are artificial materials with a similar glossy appearance. More than likely, anything that Nike uses is an artificial patent leather. That probably includes the 11's, any of the 1's that they've been using, anything that's all patent leather. It's probably artificial because artificial tends to be cheaper. So keep that in mind as you watch this, because, yeah, it'll probably make a little bit more sense. But hope y'all enjoy this one, and here goes. YouTube was happening. We back again with another installment of the Full Strength. On the Full Strength, we discuss Jordans, Nike sneakers, and we ask the number one question: is it worth the full strength? The full strength being your hard-earned money. And when we talk about the full strength, we're talking about retail or anything below retail. When you get into the resale area, we definitely talking about the full strength or even the super full strength in many occasions. Now, these shoes that we're going to look at, they came out a couple of years ago, and I had been looking at trying to acquire the banned 1's, the black and red 1's, the non-patent leather versions, but I missed out on them when they came out. I think that was in 16, and then I struck out on the patent leather gents. And so as you feel me, was kind of just, I peruse daily, just trying to find deals and everything. I said to myself, what if I took the patent leather off of them and just turned them into some band 1's? What would that look like? I wasn't trying to buy no dead stock pair, so I found a pair that were used. They probably looked like an 8 out of 10, I would say. But I wasn't really concerned with that because, again, I'm trying to take off that top layer of the patent leather. Now, real quick, I want to talk a little bit about the time cost value of money, or in many cases, let's just talk about inflation, because you've heard me say it in a couple of videos. Them Jordan 17s, Nike about to hit you upside the head for $300. That's retail. Now, if any of y'all, I'm going to talk to my OGs one time. If any of y'all was around in 97, you remember when them pennies came out. Them foam posits, that is. You remember when they came out because they was talking about $200 for them. And I remember because we was outside playing basketball in my driveway, one of the dudes came out, came to us talking about them. And I was like, well, I know not to ask my mama for that because I'm like 12 years old at the time, 11, 12. She ain't coming off $200 for no shoes, right? That's 97. Now let's take a look at what 97, what the buying power was of that in 2023. That's $381.90. That's what a pair of foam posits, that's what $200 is the equivalent of buying power. That's what it would have been in 97. 297 is $381.90 in today's money. Nike knows that. They know that because if you think about it, what are foam posits? $250 now, $240. Let's take it to okay, let's do this. Let's take it to 1985. And how much was these Jordans when they came out? 100? I think they was 100. Let's just put them right at 100. $100 in 85. That's the equivalent of 284. So Nike knows this. I think Nike understands because we talked about it in the last video. They've lost a couple of $1 billion, or they having some financial issues, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's because, well, I think it's a couple of reasons. And again, I ain't no economist, but they are not making enough of the shoes that is gonna sell. That's number one. But number two, they are probably, maybe they aren't selling the shoes for what they probably could get, especially when you factor in resale. Because again, I think if you got people that's buying your product and then opening up whole resale stores and doubling the price, that kind of says that your price might be a little bit too low. Now me, I work from, I work, you feel me? I ain't independently wealthy or none of that. So, for me, I hope they don't raise the price. But if you've been alive longer than 20 years, the price ain't ever going down. The price of anything that you buy has gone up considerably. Ain't no question. Now, that being said, let's get into these shoes, these band ones. Now, as you can see, the box is a little messed up. I didn't really care about that because, again, these were some used shoes. I had to go size 14, and I paid the full strength for these. I think I got them for $220 after shipping and taxes. I was right around $250. Again, I can live with that, especially if it turns out correct. If it don't, then I just wasted $250. But we're going to hope that ain't the case. Now, again, trying to be on my thriftiness, trying to save a couple of dollars because the band ones go for about $600. You feel me? I ain't running that. Dead stock, not running that. Even when they use, they're trying to hit you for about $400. I'm not running that. So if you look at the top layer of this, you got some scratches, right? Now, when I run my nail across these, my nail isn't getting caught in the scratches. So the hope is that when the top layer of this patent leather comes off, and I'm not doing it. This ain't really no do-it-yourself video. I got a shoe shop that I'm gonna take it to. I called ahead. I said, this is what I'm trying to do. They say, yeah, bring them on down. We can get you right. Now, I think you can take the patent leather off with acetone, but again, I'd rather just pay somebody to do it. They probably know what they're doing. So the hope is that a scratch like that, scratches like these, all of this are in the actual patent of the leather. So not a lot of creasing in the toe box area. Not as much scratching on this side. You feel me? But we hoping to take off that top layer and see what we can work with. Come up on a little something. Not a lot of heel drag on these. So, we gonna see. No inserts. I'm probably gonna find me some. The inserts are in there, but Jumpman is off. So I'm gonna try to probably find me some different inserts to run up in these things. You feel me? Spray a little disinfectant in there. Maybe the shoe shop can do that for me. You feel me? But again, you got a little bit of scratching. You can see it in the light. Now I could have probably gave these a once over with some rubbing alcohol. That probably would have took some of the fingerprints and some of the other imperfections off. But again, I'm taking that off. So didn't really think it was a big deal. You feel me? But this shoe looks to be in a little bit better shape. Still got a few scratches. I can't tell if that's a scratch or that's the video. Yeah, look like you got 2 X scratches right there. But again, when I put my nail through them, hopefully it's in the finish. So I'm gonna run these to the shoe shop tomorrow. We'll see if they can get them back to me the same day. If not, might take them a couple of days. But yeah, we're gonna run these things to the shoe shop, and then we're gonna check in when the patent is off, and we're gonna see if some of those scratches come out, and see what the shoe look like. And just to wrap up before we get into the second part, again, a lot of what this channel, what we talk about on the full strength, we are trying to avoid at all costs tricking off the full strength. Now, in many times, depending on what the shoe it is, it's inevitable that you're going to trick off the full strength. And I think everybody, no matter if you've been doing this since the 80s, the 90s, or if you've been doing it 5 years ago, the constant is you've been tricking off. And that's okay because, some people like to trick off on watches, expensive watches. Some people like to trick off on food. That's why DoorDash and all that other stuff is popping. This is just what we do. You feel me? We trick off the strength on shoes. Like I say, I like to wear mine, so I don't really have display pieces, but it's just something I enjoy doing because for whatever reason, these shoes, certain models, certain colors, of course, there's a certain connection that you have to them for whatever reason. So yeah, man, we gonna check back in and we'll finish up this review. YouTube was happening. Just got back from the shoe shop and the verdict is in. It looks like I've wasted $250. Now, this is a classic example of the philosophy of buy once, cry once. What does that mean? Every now and again, let's say you're car shopping and you're trying to find a deal, and let's just say, I don't know what your pockets are like, but let's just say, the new car you're looking at is $40,000. It's a brand new car, 40 racks. And you can get one that's pre-owned, maybe it has 25,000 miles on it. And you can get it for 33,000. So let's say $7,000 off. And you're more price conscious than anything. You don't care that it's new. You don't care that it's used. Your main sticking point is price. And let's just say you go with this $33,000 car that doesn't have a warranty, that's not certified, and all of that. And you drive it off the lot, and then you find out it needs brakes. You find out it needs rotors. And let's just say you was doing your due diligence, and the dealership lied about some things. Because we all know that happens. And, or maybe there was something that they said they fixed and it didn't. And that same $7,000 that you had in savings, you got to come out your pocket $4,000 to $5,000 to fix this new car that you just bought. Hopefully you don't know what that's like, but it happens. And there are times when it makes sense, even though you know that you're probably overspending. It may be in your best interest to just buy once and cry once. You cry one time, spending the money the first time, rather than having to continually cry because you have to, fix a mistake or fix something that's not working the way that you intended. Now, with these particular shoes here, this is definitely not of the $40,000 caliber, right? But I could have got a dead stock pair of these for $320, $350 at the max, the super full strength. And, had I known what I knew today, I probably would have been more inclined to do that, or just, buy a pair. The Royal Blues is on sale right now on Nike.com for $135. That would have been money well spent and cheaper than what I did trying to buy these to be thrifty. You feel me? To come up on a pair of band 1's. You feel me? Just by removing the patent leather. Now, let me tell you what happened at the shoe shops, because I just got back. First shoe shop I went to, which was the one I called, when I took it in there, she said, it can't be done. I guess she misunderstood me on the phone. There could have been a language barrier. But when I got there, she was saying there's no way to take this off. I pull up a couple YouTube videos. I show her what the band 1's look like. I say, what about acetone? She goes to try to get some acetone. She doesn't have any. Or maybe she just didn't want to try it. And she's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend doing that because she didn't think the finish could come off, right? So I say, all right. So I leave. And it just so happened to be another shoe shop in the plaza that I was in. So I actually called ahead of time. And dude first was like, no, same thing, can't be done. He calls back. He say, how close are you? I say, well, I'm in the parking lot. He said, well, bring him in. Let me look at him. So I bring him in. He starts, kind of inspecting him. And same thing. He's like, yeah, this can't be done. I leave the shoe alone, blah, blah, blah. I show him the YouTube videos. I say, well, they say acetone will take it off. What's up with using some acetone? And when I was doing a little research, I think the brand, I don't know, Angelus or something like that, but he had a giant jar of that, right? So he put some on a rag and he starts hitting the inside of the shoe where some of those black marks were. So I know he hit this little area right here, and he was able to get some of the black marks off. Like if you remember in the first part of the video, I believe on this shoe, can't remember if it was the left one or the right one, might have been the right one, but you had a lot of black scratches on the Nike check. And in this little area right here, he was able to get a large portion of those off, but the finish is still there. So it's like the acetone or whatever he was using definitely helped to a certain extent, but it didn't accomplish the ultimate goal, which was to take off this patent leather shine, this patent leather finish. Now, he actually thought that it was vinyl, some sort of vinyl, rather than patent leather, because, you know, with patent leather, there's actual leather, and then they put a coat over it to make it shiny. Let me find an example of what I'm talking about. And here you have a Johnston Murphy boot. Now, this isn't patent leather, but you can see that the leather, I mean, just touching this, the leather on this feels much different than any Jordan 1 leather that I have. This kind of puts you more in the mind frame of a leather coat. But if they wanted to make this boot shiny, they would, you know, again, have this, and then, based on my understanding, apply whatever the coating is to make it shiny. Okay, what you have right here, you have some leather polo boots, polices, right? Now, again, I don't know the grade of leather that they've used on this, but if they wanted to make these shiny, they would apply whatever that coat is to the leather to make them shiny, right? So the theory that I had was that there was some sort of leather on this shoe underneath the shiny placard or whatever it is, right? He thinks that that's not the case. He thinks that whatever this is on the inside, whatever this material is, it's similar to this in that they just created this finish. They created it and then sewed it together rather than it being a leather shoe with a patent leather layer. Again, I am confused now, but I wouldn't put it past Nike to not, you know, use real leather and then put the finish over it. I wouldn't put it past them, right? Because if you go get some Salvatore Ferragamos and they patent leather, I would almost guarantee you that that's a leather shoe with a finish over the top of it, right? But we're getting a little bit too far into the weeds. Basically, the verdict on this is I paid the strength, almost a super strength, with it being 250, and looks like I got burned. And, you know, it happens when you're trying to be cute, because that's what I was doing, rather than just buying once, crying once. You know, even if I got to buy once, cry once, you feel me, and trick off 600 on the band once, it's not going to happen. I'd rather just wait for Nike to give me another opportunity to get them at retail, which is probably what I'm going to do. But maybe I can find some use for these. But hope that was informative. Hope if you was on the fence, that'll help save you some money. I'll probably do a little bit more research and see if there's anything I can do to try to take it off. But I can't confirm that the patent leather layer on these can be taken off. 2 shoe shops that have been around for 70 years told me that that's not possible. But again, that'll do it for this episode of The Full Strength. Appreciate all y'all commenting, liking, subscribing, all that. Really appreciate that. And you know, this year they got some heat. They got some things dropping. And, you know, looking forward to getting my hands on some of those and reviewing those and discussing those with y'all. So, I know those Bred 4s, those Reimagines are coming out. I'm not too high on those. We'll see how they look in person, but I don't think they're going to be strength worthy. And looking forward to some of those foam posits that are supposed to be dropping at some point. But, yeah, that'll do it, man. Appreciate y'all. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.